Good evening and welcome to NNX, where we give you campus news and cheese. I'm Liz Caslow.
And I'm Bridget Aduwadier. Let's dive right into tonight's stories.
The first day of classes always brings a fresh energy from students trying to find their classroom and carefully pick a seat.
But you couldn't help but feel the tinge of anxiety. Wildcats heading back in the middle of an Omicron surge.
Last week, the university recording 686 new positive cases, less than the prior week, but still a 4.81% positivity rate. The provost last week saying the school is ready for today's return, pointing to masks and testing.
The situation we have at Northwestern is completely different than what you would expect sort of the public at large. This is a place with an incredible amount of mitigation, and it continues to be the case that there isn't evidence of transmission in the classroom.
But despite that assessment, some students still bracing for the impact of today's announcement.
So I think mentally, I'm really ready to go back, and physically, I am really hoping that people stay healthy.
NNN's Hannah Jiang joins us now. Hannah, what are the new rules on masking in the classroom?
Yeah, so now students have to wear at least a surgical mask when having in-person classes. It's also recommended that you put a cloth mask over it.
And is Northwestern giving out these masks?
Yeah, you should be able to find surgical masks in the entryways of most campus buildings. Also, here's a reminder, each student can pick up 2 KN95 masks from area desks. Go pick up your mask.
So what are the scientific benefits to wearing a heavier mask?
Yeah, I talked to Professor Justin Fiala from Northwestern Medicine. He told me that the reason why coronavirus is so contagious is because it's airborne. That means that it can linger in the air for 2 to 4 hours in very small droplets. So that means that even if I'm alone in the room, I can still be infected even if I don't have a mask.
Got it.
See like a little bit of spittle come out, since talking. Those things are easily caught by those kind of lower quality masks. What's not caught, though, is the very fine particles, the ones that actually kind of get suspended in the air and then actually can hang out in the air for, 2+ hours.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.
Evanstonians and Mayor Daniel Biss want to bring an alternative to 911 and mental health cases to Evanston, following the lead of a Skokie organization. The Living Room is an alternative where trained mental health professionals provide those experiencing a crisis with a space other than a hospital. Supporters say this model just makes sense.
When you send a trained mental health professional rather than a police.
Funding for a living room in Evanston would come from the American Rescue Plan Act, and Mayor Daniel Biss says he hopes to bring a vote on the issue soon.
Yesterday, Evanstonians out on Martin Luther King Jr. Day walking to support the homeless and hungry. Over 550 people participated in the 2-mile walk to raise money in support of the homeless. Interfaith Action of Evanston hosted the annual event, saying the purpose of the action is
walking today so that people have a warm place to stay overnight.
Interfaith Action of Evanston provides homeless residents with safety and warmth in the winter. You can learn more on their website, interfaithactionofevanston.org.
In the cold winter months, a new spray paint studio gives Evanstonians a fun indoors activity. Here's NNN's Logan Schizano with more.
So spray paint, right? It used to be so controversial. What are your thoughts on it now?
Tell me when it's ready.
I think this is really cool. I might consider going this weekend.
Yeah, I know it's gained a lot of traction in the past couple of months. I know a local art organization actually had some graffiti used. Okay, so we have our segment now. Let's get started.
I started spray painting when I was about 14 years old.
From a young age, Max Unterhasselberger and his friend Adam Dittman were hooked.
Growing up in the 90s, I loved Fresh Prince. I loved Living Color. I loved Nickelodeon, those vibrant colors, and it kind of like always reminded me of spray paint.
After COVID cost them their jobs, and they saw the images of their city boarded up in the wake of George Floyd's murder, They were inspired to put their talents towards something good.
We started painting the boarded up businesses that were still active. Like let people know, like, hey, we're here, we're doing this. We still go to your favorite small retailer, small business.
From there, the two former restaurant employees joined forces and began teaching spray paint classes at their new studio in West Humboldt Park. Just months later, they got an assist from an unlikely source.
Perfect for creative date night, but you can also go with friends.
We went viral on TikTok for our spray paint workshops.
A 2,700% increase in business allowed Studio Whip to expand into a new location in Evanston this past December.
This is exactly the opportunity that we were looking to capitalize on, and we haven't looked back since.
And as the studio continues to welcome the Evanston community, the next step for them is to begin selling spray paint and accessories here in-house for all to enjoy. From the studio in Evanston, Logan Schijano. Northwestern News Network.
Learn more on Studio Whip's website about a Wildcat discount. I think it's really cool. I really want to consider going, especially with the stress of the new quarter starting. I want to do some spray paint.
Maybe some manifestation, write some A+ on a wall. I think that would be a good way to get the grades up for the new quarter. I know I'm a little bit stressed as well. Okay, so what are your favorite tools that you think you would use? Would you use stencils or something like that?
Honestly, I don't think I would use any tools. I would just go all out.
As you should. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for watching.
Stay tuned for the Northwestern News Report and Politicat coming up next. I'm Bridget Adu-Wadier.
And I'm Liz Casolo. Good night.